All right, let's get started. So, um, first of all, thank you guys for sending all the stuff about the visualization, the talk that we had last week. I think it was great. I got great feedback from everybody. I know there's some people that's not in the call right now that did that as well. And it's awesome. I'm going to give a quick story. I was waiting for Nick to be in this call, but he's not. So you guys know Nick Dyer's name. I've been training him for like almost a year. But he was in the call last week, and he was when I was talking about visualization and stuff and all that stuff, and he did the homework that I sent and did all the steps. And literally, I have my training with him on Mondays. So we went on. We had a training session, and this was our third session since we were back on the field after the virus. And the first two sessions with him were not good. Like his touch was bad, his fitness was not good. So then, I during the session on Monday, I see this like change, like this. It was like so like it was huge, the change. Like his touch was good, his fitness was great, his intensity was there. It was probably one of the best trainings that I've ever had with him since we started training together. It's been like almost a year. And then, during the training, I asked him like, hey, by any chance did you do the visualization exercise today in the morning? Because you guys know the homework was supposed to go over the weekend, right? And he told me, yeah, I did it. What did you visualize? I asked him, well, I visualized this training session and how I wanted to go. And so that to me was like, again, just another thing to show you guys that these things work. And the more you practice it, the more you get familiar with it, the more you do that as a habit, it will help you with everything, not only with soccer. And another story with him as well, he sent me a text. They had like this juggling challenge in his team, and one of the guys, his teammates, posted that he made like a 3,000 juggles. So Nick literally went home again, did the same thing, visualizing himself doing the juggles, how it felt, what emotion he will feel whenever he accomplished 3,000 juggles or more. And he went on and he juggled 3,096 juggles. And he sent me a text right away, like, hey man, I did this, I can't believe it, it's working. So again, I cannot enforce it enough, guys. These things work, make it a habit, and all that. So having said that, so we're gonna talk about today about how to deal with adversity. So I'm gonna share that a little bit, sharing a story about myself. So for people here that doesn't know, you guys know I'm from Venezuela, but back in Venezuela, I had the opportunity to represent my country. I played for the U17 national team, and I actually had the opportunity to play a World Cup. I played a U17 World Cup in the Emirates. And actually, that was the second time in history that in Venezuela's history, that a soccer team plays a World Cup. So, and that I was part of that. But anyway, so when I was part of that national team, we were doing all the training camps, kind of like getting ready, kind of like knowing if we were gonna make the team for the World Cup. We did this training camp in Colombia, and I remember I was kind of like the new guy in that team, because most of those guys played together to qualify for the World Cup, and by then I was not part of the national team yet. So for me, I had to literally like put more effort than everybody else, because I was kind of like a new guy, right? So each day was a challenge. But either way, we're in Colombia. We're playing against professional teams there. Great experience. And like in the fourth day, we were there for 2 weeks, I believe, in Cali, Colombia, and then we traveled some other areas. But like in the fourth day, I got sick, and I got, but like really, really sick. Like I couldn't even move. It was that I had fever, headaches. I couldn't even eat anything because my throat was so sore. Like it was awful. It was really, really bad. And of course, you have to understand, when you're in that environment, literally every second matters. Getting downstairs and being the first one downstairs, is staying after each training a little bit more, so the coach see that you're working hard, that you really want it. You have to show more than anything. So literally every second matters, right? And remember, I was a new guy there. So it was really, it was a struggle for me. And the only thing I kept thinking was, my God, I can't believe this. But then, of course, I had to push myself. I had to push through that pain. I had to push through that feeling of, that I was extremely sick and train. Of course, I spent like 2-3 days without training, and we had like 2 training sessions per day. So pretty much I lost 8 opportunities or 6 opportunities to show myself to the coaches in an international environment in another country. But then I got to a point that it was like, okay, I just have to do it. And I remember it was an awful experience. I literally felt like I couldn't move. But funny thing is about this, and the reason why I'm telling you this, is that the next day I felt much better. And physically, I mean, like my body was starting to heal, my throat was feeling better, I didn't have more headaches. And after that, after that day and one more day, I was completely healthy. So all that to say, what was my adversity there? My adversity was that I got sick, and I had to find a way to, deal with it and just keep pushing through. And I was able to push through that wall, that uncomfortable position. And then I realized that things that I pushed through that, I felt much better. Right? I was not completely healthy and all that, but I felt much better. And then after that, I was able to train and keep performing. And of course, I was able then, after a few months, I was able to make the list to play for the national team and represent my country in our World Cup, which is, I mean, to me, that's the most thing that I'm most proud of, being able to represent my country and playing a World Cup. So, guys, adversity. So let's talk a little more about adversity. And, I kind of make a definition of what adversity is. You guys kind of might understand. But to me, adversity is a state of serious difficulty that becomes our best friend. So I'm going to repeat that. State of serious difficulty that becomes our best friend. So why do I say that? Because adversity is like a professor. It's like a teacher. The adversity teaches you things that at the moment you don't even think about that. Because you're full of your thoughts. Only keep thinking about the bad things, about how bad you feel about, oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this. But when you pass that storm, when you push through, and then you actually made it and make whatever you wanted to achieve whatever you wanted to achieve, then you realize, I'm glad I went through that. Because when you go through that and you're able to achieve what you wanted to achieve, you're even more grateful and you enjoy that success much more. All right. So I enjoy my success playing for the national team and being able to represent my country in World Cup much more because I got sick. I enjoy it much more because, for example, I was the only player in the national team that I didn't have an agent. So, and that's big. For you guys that don't know, in soccer, it's really, really important to have an agent. I never had an agent, and I didn't have an agent at that point, and I made it. And again, adversity. But it's not how you look. It's all about how you look at, right? It's not about thinking about the things that you don't have at the moment. It's just thinking, okay, maybe I don't, like, this is the way I thought. Okay, I don't have an agent. All of them have agents. Instead of me, oh my God, all of them have agents. They have more chances than me. I was looking at the opposite and be like, you know what? I'm going to make it. I'm going to show them that even without an agent, I made it, right? So that's the attitude that you guys must have whenever you're facing adversity, because adversity is a friend. Okay, that's the number one phrase that I want you guys to remember. Adversity is your friend. Adversity, don't back down when you see adversity. Or I think you should do it the other way around. Look for adversity. When you're feeling comfortable, when you're feeling like everything is given to you, you shouldn't be in that place. Find adversity and push through. And I'm sure you're gonna make it. You're gonna get your achievement, and you're gonna enjoy. You're gonna enjoy most. You're gonna prove that you did it, right? So, few tips that I consider helpful. Well, first of all, before I keep going, type in the chat box number 1 if all of this makes sense. If you understand the meaning of adversity? Type in the chat box the number 1. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Let me see. Awesome. Perfect. All right, cool. So tips on how to deal with adversity, right? I kind of divided into 2 things that I think are important. First of all, something that helps you deal with adversity, because at the end of the day, what is going to help you the most dealing with adversity is your mindset. So in order to have a good mindset, successful mindset that helps you to deal with adversity, is to create successful habits, right? Successful habits that don't interfere with your mental health, meaning that help you improve your mental health, if that makes sense. So for example, few successful habits that you can include in your routine, in your day-to-day basis. We talked about it last week. Meditation, right? Meditation, visualization. We talk about more visualization, but it's pretty much the same thing. Meditate, visualize. And I would like to name this with another word. It's called priming, right? So from now on, instead of meditation, let's call it priming. So what is priming? Priming is exactly the process that I told you last week, right? That process where you're sitting, when you're sitting as soon as you wake up. And why it's called priming? Because you gotta prime your body, right? You gotta get your body and your mindset ready for the day, ready for what's coming to you. Okay, so you gotta prime your mindset. Remember that, prime, super important. So I'm gonna repeat it again. The same process. You sit down, start getting ready, think about 3 things that you're super grateful for, and more than that, think about 3 things that are simple. Don't think about too many things, just simple. The air that is touching your face, the air that you're breathing, the taste that you're able to taste, that you're able to feel, that you have a house, that you have a home, that you have a bed, that you are able to sleep with a pillow. I don't know, simple things. But also remember, feel the emotion, really feel the gratefulness and the gratitude. That's when magic happens, right? And then, of course, think about 3 things that you want to achieve. And this, feel the emotion. How does it feel like? And I know Nick is now in the call, but Nick, I mentioned to everybody your experience with the juggling and also with our training that you visualize and you saw your work. I'm sure when he visualized, he felt it. He felt emotion, and that helped him get that, right? So why doing this is important? Because when we face adversity, the most common thing is to always think about the bad things. It's almost think about the if it doesn't happen, or this is too hard. But if we practice gratitude, if we practice visualization, we practice those things, and we get to the point that we know those things will come to us, that we're 100% sure that those things will come. It doesn't matter how much time it takes. We're just sure those things will come. Whenever adversity hits, you won't even clinch. You won't even you'll keep consistent. Your persistency will stay because you're 100% certain that that thing will come to you. Okay? It's just, maybe it's not the path that you thought that thing will gonna come to you. Maybe, life is taking you through another path, but the outcome will be the same. Whatever you want is gonna happen. Okay, so that's why it's important. Okay? And also I wanna talk about the 2 types of motivations, right? There is the push motivation and the pulling motivation. And before I keep going, type the number 1 in the chat box if what I talk about priming makes sense to you all. Okay. Awesome. Perfect, guys. So there's 2 types of motivations. The push motivation or pull motivation, right? So the push motivation, it's the motivation, or it is when you are pushing yourself, that's the name says itself. It's when you're pushing yourself to do something. So for example, you wake up, early in the morning at 5 a.m. and you know that you said the day before that you were gonna go for a run, and you wake up at 5 a.m. But Jesus, that day the pillow feels amazing, the bed is warm, outside is cold, and you have to push yourself to do it, and you don't want to do it, but you push yourself to do it. That could be good short term, but long term, that feeling wears you out. Those are the feelings that get you burned out. So you don't want to find yourself with a push motivation. You want to find yourself with a pulling motivation. So what is pulling? Pulling means, let's say, the same outcome, right? You know, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at 5 a.m. I'm gonna go for a run because whenever, you know, in a year from now, I want to be able to run a marathon, and I'm gonna run this marathon in honor of my family. So whenever you put a why into whatever you are going to do in your day-to-day basis, now your motivation shifts, right? Now you're not pushing yourself, you're pulling, because your why is bigger than yourself. So it's gonna be easier for you to get up and do the thing. So why is this important? Why I'm talking about this with adversity? Because whenever adversity hits, that's when you're gonna feel burnout. That's when you're gonna be like, oh, I'm too tired. Oh, geez, but this thing, it looks like it doesn't happen to me. Keep trying, keep trying. But if you have a pulling motivation, you have something bigger than you. Your why is bigger than you. You have a spiritual connection with what you want to achieve, or whatever it may be. It's bigger than you. You're gonna get up. It's gonna be easier for you to get up and do the work, right? Type the number 2 in the chat box if this makes sense. Type the number 2 in the chat box if all of this makes sense. Awesome. So we're almost done. Great, guys. Awesome. Glad you guys are understanding this. Super important information I'm talking right now. So please pay attention. Pay attention. So we're almost done. Now you'll realize that the more you face adversity and the more you push through that adversity, things are gonna be easier for you. Meaning, let's say you're pushing, you know, you are in the B team. Let's say you're in the JV team or your high school team, and your freshman year, you wanna be in your first year trying out for high school. You made it to a JV team, and you thought you wanna make it into the varsity team. Yes, well, keep trying, right? Second year, again, you made it into JV team, right? Keep trying. Third year, you made it into a varsity team. You feel amazing. Then, let's say, college, right? In the recruitment process, it's gonna be easier for you to put the work in to get into a good college or get into a D1. Let's say your goal now is getting to a D1. It's gonna be easier for you mentally because you know that you can do it, because you know that you can face adversity and you can beat it, right? So all that to say, don't run away from adversity. Face it. And the more you face it, the easier it will become for you to achieve anything that you want. Because you know that you've been through so much that you get to the point that you're like, hey, I mean, I went through this already. I know I can do this. It's tough, but I've done tougher things before. Let's go. And then people will start to realize, look, this guy or this girl, why she keeps pushing and achieves something. Adversity comes and she keeps going and she achieves another thing, and they will ask you why. And the reason is, look, it's like a muscle, right? When you go to the gym and you work out a lot, you know, you get stronger. Your arms get stronger, your chest, your back. Mental strength is the same thing. When you work out your mind and create a positive mindset, a mindset of you that you're not going to give up, that you're going to push through, and you push through and you get things, it's going to be easier, right? When you're skinny or you're not strong, it's hard for you to do 20 reps or some type of exercise, right? But then you do it a lot, and then you realize that you start doing 100 reps. Same thing, right? It's the same exact concept with your mind. Okay, so to end, I would like to share with you all a few quotes. I'm reading a book right now. We talked about this a while ago. Some of you and another call at the beginning, the importance of reading. I strongly recommend it, because you always have to have a mindset of always learning, always learning. Self-education. Self-education is the most important thing. But I'm reading right now this book called Limitless by a guy called Jim Kawick, something like that. This guy, it's like a brain specialist. He's a master of the mind, and like he reads books like this. He can read a book in like under an hour, something like that. He has some tips. So I'm learning a bunch of stuff to this, and this book has some quotes that when I read them, it reminded me of you guys, and I wanted to share with you all. Okay, so the first quote is by J.K. Rowling. Who knows who is J.K. Rowling? Type in the chat box if you know who's J.K. Rowling. Okay, Nick, cool. Who else? Nobody knows? Okay, Sophia, good. All right, so J.K. Rowling she's a writer of Harry Potter. Harry Potter. So I don't know who. I mean, Harry Potter was like when I was your age, pretty much. That was like the thing. But it's like 7 movies, like successful movies, whatever. And she's the author of the books, right? But anyway, so she is like, and she struggled a lot before being successful. So, anyways, she says, pay attention here. We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all of the power we need inside ourselves already. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat it. We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all of the power we need inside ourselves already. So again, pretty much, you have everything that you need. Anything that you want to achieve, you have it. You have it in here. And trust me when I'm telling you this. This thing is the most powerful thing and most powerful tool that you guys have. You just have to train it. Just like you will train your left foot to place it on the corners, just how you would get touches with the Techni app or with whatever. If you train this, you're unstoppable. Trust me when I tell you this, because that's happened to me. And some of you, in this past week, that you do your homework, you notice that you did it, if you did it properly. And if you didn't do it properly, that's fine. Look, it's practice. It's like whenever, if you're right-footed and you're practicing with your left foot at the beginning, it sucks. I'm right-footed. My left foot, I mean, when I started playing, it sucked. But guess what? Now, I'm really good at it with my left foot because I practice. So same thing, okay? And lastly, and after this, we're done. I don't want to take too much time with your Friday. I know you guys want to enjoy the day. This quote is from the author of the book. All right, so it says, if an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. If broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things always begin from the inside. I'm gonna repeat it. If an egg is broken by an outside force, life ends. If broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things always begin from the inside. So guys, similar concept, right? Everything starts from the inside. It doesn't matter what she says, what he says, their opinion. No. The only thing that matters is what you have here and your beliefs, and that you truly think that you can achieve, and that you truly know that when adversity comes, adversity is my best friend, right? Adversity is my best friend. I'm gonna welcome adversity, and I'm gonna be the one teaching adversity a lesson. But after I teach adversity a lesson, adversity is the one that taught me a lesson, right? And it's gonna make me better. All right, guys. So that's it for today's call. There's no homework for this one. I'm gonna put the recording in the group chat. I will encourage you guys to rewatch it, and doesn't have to be tomorrow. Doesn't have to be, but whenever you feel like you need motivation or whatever, rewatch it. That's the whole meaning of these calls, to help you out, improve and work on your mindset. Remember, mindset. Your mind is a muscle. Train it. How do you train it? Priming. Start doing it. That way, Whenever you want something, you don't have to push yourself. You're just gonna pull yourself, which is the biggest difference, right? So guys, glad to have you in this call. Have a great weekend and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.